Hey yo, what's up, wrestling renegades? Buckle up, because you just stormed the gates of VK Punk Wrestling, the high octane, spine shattering epicenter of pro wrestling madness. I'm your fearless guide, Vin C Punk, here to sling you straight into the post WrestleMania 41 chaos with our iconic YAYYY Raw review. Of course, this is not the Raw after Mania. This is the second Raw after Mania, so we're still kind of riding high on that. But go ahead, if you're ready to rumble, smash that thumbs up button, suplex the subscribe button, and roundhouse kick that bell icon to never miss a second of this insanity. Um, we got some new sound equipment that we're using. You can see the new microphone here. It's pretty nice. We did an unboxing video of that earlier today. We're using this because some of the videos have been getting static, and we tried to do an elevated podcast, but it caught a lot of static during that. One of the things that happened on that podcast was that we announced a new champion after our predictions war games for WrestleMania 41. We all tied in the main card. Havoc lost in the bonus round. Casey and I tied in the bonus round, so we rolled over to Monday Night Raw for some extra questions. We both picked two names to debut return. We each got one. I had Rusev and she had Sami Zayn. But there was a bonus question we both had different answers on, so we kept that one. Whether or not John Cena would introduce a new spinner belt that night, I said yes, and Casey said no. So, ladies and gentlemen, your new crowned VK Punk Wrestling Champion is KC Punk. So, we're still riding the tidal wave of WrestleMania 41's fallout, and I'm amped up like a pyro explosion at the Royal Rumble. Let's tear into some action. VK Punk Wrestling, we the ones. Before we dive into that, however, let's throw a massive salute to our sponsor, Capco Championship Belts. I'm also going to be recording like a good commercial for them later today, but they forge gear so jaw-dropping it'd make any title holder sweat. From WWE, UFC to boxing, their belts gleam like they're ready to headline. Got dreams of a custom strap that's all you. Their belt crafting wizard Abdul is the Shawn Michaels of design. Smooth, flashy, and untouchable. I'm working with him to make an amazing title for our channel so that our champion can hold an actual title that belongs to this. I have all sorts of their swag everywhere, all the belts that you see in the background, whichever ones you can see. But they also have shirts, masks, jackets, the lot, and it's pure dynamite. Slide over to www.capcointernational.com to peep their collection and drop a Vin sent me or VK Punk sent me. Their Facebook and email are in the credits to this video. All right, so now let's get on to the Raw review, where we are live from Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center with Michael Cole hyping tonight's card as superstars strutting to the building. Nick Aldis is subbing for Adam Pearce tonight, and we've got Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. Ivy Nile walks in with American Made because she has a match. Stephanie Vaquer and Logan Paul are in the house. Cole and Pat McAfee are on commentary, dropping the bombshell that Gunther's indefinite suspended before tossing a recap of last week's Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns drama. And Braun Breaker's debut with Heyman's crew. Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Sami Zayn. Seth Rollins' music hits, and he struts out with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker, rocking bizarre glasses as his usual flamboyant flair. Seth dubs it Monday Night Rollins, as he always does, trying to spark CM Punk chants after that. It doesn't really get it, but he gets OTC chants when he mentions Roman and Roman's crew, calling his group the future of wrestling. Sami Zayn's music interrupts, surprising but welcome. Seth gives Sami a glowing intro, noting their long friendship, but Sami's not here for pleasantry. He calls Seth new vibe. Hey guys, welcome into the video. Enzo Amore.
Hello.
He's gonna sit here while I read this review. Okay, so Seth gives Sami a glowing intro, noting their long friendship, but Sami's not here for pleasantries. He calls Seth's new vibe crap, accusing him of becoming a hypocritical clone of Punk and Reigns, with Heyman in tow. Sami labels Seth jealous, saying this is just a rehashed bloodline saga, and threatens to smack Breaker in the face, which was really hilarious. Heyman smirks, rubbing Braun's back at that point. It was a really good photo, like a really good visual. I mean, Seth insists that Sammy's either with them or a target, but offers to get him traded to SmackDown to save him, giving him until the end of the night to decide. So in this segment, unfortunately, I gotta go boo, boo, because the promo was solid. Sammy's fire and Seth's swarm were on point, but the story itself feels a little off. Sammy, considering this goes against his core as the guy who fights bullies, not dodges them. Seth trading a friend to protect him is flimsy. If Sammy's not interfering, why target him at all? Sammy's boldness with Breaker was peak Zane, but he should have shut Seth down here. This feels like a rush plot to fill airtime, and it really lacked any depth. Okay, so Colin McAfee recap last week's Io Sky versus Stephanie Vacor match, introducing Julia and Perez to the main roster. Well, not so much Perez. Rhea Ripley gets her entrance and electrifies the crowd, and after a break, Roxanne Perez is already in the ring.
I'm coming back.
Perez plays mind games, rolling out to taunt Mommy, then lands a chop block to Rhea's leg. Rhea briefly takes control after that, and Perez targets her leg, slamming it into the ring post. Rhea stuffs a dive, smashing Perez into the barricade, but Perez stays on the leg. Rhea counters with a lariat and catches a crossbody, but post-break, Perez hits a moonsault and locks in a leg submission. Rhea powers back with a vicious razor's edge. That looked brutal, by the way. And a knee for a near fall. Julia appears, taunting Rhea, and Perez kind of capitalized on the situation with a roll-up, but only gets a 2, and a flurry of moves. Rhea sets up for Riptide, but Julia interferes, causing a DQ. Julia and Perez beat down Rhea until Io Sky evens the odd. Julia knocks Io off a springboard, and the heels pummel her until Rhea comes back into the ring to chase them off. So we'll give this a split one. We're going to give it a yay. I don't know if I like that yay better. I might like this one better. Yeah, that one. Okay, the match was spot on, especially considering who was in it. Rhea's dominance and Perez's scrappy offense clicked with star power from Julia and Io to come in later. So yay for the action, right? But boo for the messy story. Are Julia and Perez main roster or NXT? Commentary's vague, and protecting Perez with a non-finish feels unnecessary when Rhea is a top dog anyway. This feud has too many moving parts. I feel like we're introducing more people as the weeks go on. And the women's division is really starting to blur together, whether it be this storyline or the Naomi Jade Bianca storyline. It just seems like we're bringing a lot of stories together, and there's just too many moving parts in each one. Let's get it streamlined, and let's get this over with, because this is, I mean, it's good because there's so many people involved that are amazing, but the story lacks. I love the people involved. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying anything. Julia and Perez deserve to be on the main roster, but this is just coming off really weird, and I don't know how else to put it, okay? So backstage next, the Judgment Day's Finn Balor scolds JD McDonough for his unannounced return, while Liv Morgan sets up a tag match for them. In the ring, Logan Paul grabs a mic, yelling, "Hey, yo," and mocking the Kansas City crowd. He calls them dumb. He calls them stupid. He brags about beating AJ Styles at Mania, claims Jey Uso is no legend, and says he's done everything but win a world title. Jay's music cuts him off, however, and the crowd is yeeting, with McAfee dancing on the announce table as he always do. Jay declares his fire is eternal after 15 years, refusing to lose his title to a punk-ass YouTuber. Paul's yeet mockery is painful, and I think it's painful when Jay does it too. But Jay shuts him up mid-sentence, super kick, standing tall in the end. Boo for Paul's mic work. It's very cringy. He is not as good on the mic as I originally thought he was. He's so talented between the ropes, though, when he gets to put on gear and wrestle. but his on mic talent when he's trying to promote the wrestling is not great. I can watch his podcast and it's okay, but he's just free flowing there. He's probably not on a script. He's probably not trying to put over any certain emotion other than what he's actually feeling. So, yay for Jay's Fire and that super kick pop. Boo again for this being Jay's first feud as champ. A YouTube star challenging for the title feels like a step down. This could tank Jay's reign early. Not that I think he will lose, but why make his first opponent as champion Logan Paul? Logan Paul doesn't need a title to get name recognition. Jay is on his first run, and this just feels like we're starting off this title run bad. Okay, so next, the War Raiders face Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day with the New Day on commentary. JD starts off hot, but Ivar shuts him down right away. Judgment Day eventually isolate Ivar, but a brutal backdrop shifts the momentum. Eric finally tags in, and the War Raiders dominate. Carlito pulls Finn and JD out of Ivar's apron crossbody path. And post-break, Judgment Day has control until Eric's right hand causes a double down. Finn tags in, but it gets overpowered by Ivar again, who misses a doomsault. JD's moonsault outside on the non-announced table side this time, because the last time he did that, he got injured. And in-ring moonsault, get a near fall. War Raiders regain control with a weird double team move, and despite Carlito's interference, Penta's involvement that came afterwards let the War Raiders hit War Machine for the win. So boo for this. I love Judgment Day and the War Raiders, don't get me wrong, but this was kind of a mess. Once again, there's just a lot of moving parts here. I do like everybody involved. I like the War Raiders. I love the Judgment Day. I love Finn Balor. I love JD McDonough. The War Raiders they're good. I like them. But Finn is stuck in this tag purgatory, and, you know, he should be doing more. And now I feel like this is kind of clashing with the story. And the constant interference, Carlito, Penta, New Day, muddied a pretty solid match. Why did Penta come out? Why is he targeting like JD from Judgment Day? And why does he even care? Neither one of the guys in the match were the ones that won the title. Dominic won the title. The Judgment Day infighting teases are dragging. Where's the payoff? Finn deserves better than this booking limbo. Got to get to the story. Let's get it on. So next, we cut to backstage. Sammy chats with Otis when Paul Heyman interrupts, pushing the Seth Braun agenda. Heyman says Braun wants a match with Sammy and reveals Seth's trade offer to SmackDown includes a number one contender shot for the world title over who wins between Orton and Cena. Sammy stays silent. He doesn't really say too much. So once again, boo for this. Sammy should have rejected this outright earlier in the night. The trade favor feels like a weak plot device, and dragging this out undermines Sammy's defiance. Just let him say what was on his mind earlier, and even if it got this far, he should have just said his mind here. Dragging this all night for a short little extra main event match doesn't seem like it was really worth it. So next, we cut to the arena, and Becky Lynch's music hits, and the man storms the ring, mic in hand. So we're going back to this man gimmick for her. I like it. She takes credit for sidelighting Bayley at Mania, claiming Bayley's attacked her since 2019 without apology. Becky trashes Lyra Valkyria for aligning with Bayley, despite Becky mentoring her. Lyra interrupts, saying she's ignored warnings about Becky's true colors and had higher hopes for her. Lyra climbs in the ring, but Becky bails. Lyra brings up beating Becky for the NXT title and challenges her to a backlash match because Becky kept saying she's not doing it in Kansas City. Becky accepts, but Lyra's claim of being a better person and wrestler sets Becky off. Lyra kicks Becky, standing tall in the end, until of course Lyra gets up the ramp and near the entrance, where Becky ambushes her from behind. So yay. This was definitely fire. Is Becky a heel? I think it's really weird. It seems like Becky's justified in her anger because Bayley really has done this to her, and somebody that she thought was her friend really has helped her enemy and became, a tag team partners after they fought for the belt. Um, so she feels like Lyra betrayed her, makes her a compelling maybe heel. I'm not really sure. Lyra's defiance at and the backlash set up her money. The women's division needs a believable antagonist, and Becky is gonna kill it and is killing it. Can't wait for this feud. This promises to be a really good match, considering that Becky is so amazing and Becky is the mentor trainer of Lyra. So I mean, this should be excellent. Okay, Penta gets a match with JD McDonough next week from Nick Aldis, but Chad Gable interrupts, trash talking until Penta kicks him. A Rusev vignette airs. Then Ivy Nile faces Stephanie Vakor in the ring. Stephanie Vakor is, of course, the NXT Women's Champion, who she won from Julia. Stephanie Vakor definitely deserves to be on the main roster too, by the way. Ivy starts with a big slam, and they trade slick mat wrestling. It was pretty cool. Vakor does her leg pound, leg face pound. I forgot what the exact name of it would come. The reverse leg triangle face slam or something like that. But she gets a near fall after Chad Gable puts Ivy's foot on the ropes. Vakor, of course, confronts Gable, letting Ivy rally for a near fall. Vakor catches Ivy on the top rope, hitting a superplex, a middle rope suplex. Ivy lands a power move, but Vakor traps her in the ropes, hitting a dragon screw, and finishes her off with her finish move. I can't remember the name of it, but yay for this. I feel like this was definitely Ivy's best match yet. She has showed a lot of improvement, and Vakor is a star. She definitely deserves to be on the main roster, and she hasn't even been in NXT for a year. Her and Julia both. The action was crisp, and the story stayed focused despite Gable's meddling. Is Vakor a main roster call up, or is still? She still is NXT champ, but are you gonna make her lose in order to bring her up, or are you just gonna let her vacate the title? Didn't we have somebody do that? I think Indy Hartwell did that. When she got called up, she just vacated it. Or do you make her go down and put somebody over that way she can be a main event threat after just losing? I don't know. Vakor is untouchable right now though, and this was the night's cleanest match so far. So next we get Judgment Day interrupt AJ Styles backstage, and Dom mocking AJ until Liv cuts in and just shuts it all down because AJ was about to talk back. Sammy gets a pep talk from Jey Uso, who's then sucker punched by Logan Paul. Commentary recaps Gunther's drama, and McAfee grabs a hot mic, rallying the crowd. He reflects on his roots, calling himself a loyal mother, and dubs Cole the GOAT, vowing to defend him. McAfee calls out Nick Aldis, who says Gunther's ban stays, but they can fight at Backlash. Cole worries, but McAfee's pumped. This, of course, gets a yay. Anything with McAfee is gold, and McAfee has such charisma and such passion, and in-ring chops make this a home run. Gunther will likely win because McAfee isn't a wrestler, and I'm sure Gunther would not lose to somebody like McAfee. McAfee's very talented, and he has a way in the ring, but Gunther is Gunther. But this promo was pretty electric, and the Backlash setup feels huge. Cole's concern was a nice touch. Hopefully this goes well for everybody. Okay, so next, we get Seth is back in the ring. He's calling out Sami Zayn to answer his trade offer. Sammy's music hits and he's done playing. He reminds Seth of their history, saying he's never run from a fight and he won't start now. Seth threats don't phase him. So Sammy's always been a target. Of course, he always has been. He tells Seth to go to hell, and Braun Breaker's music hits for an impromptu match, I guess, that we didn't know was going to happen. Braun starts off hot, of course, but Sammy counters with a kick and a double axe handle. Braun's power takes over, tossing Sammy and hitting a box jump lariat over the announce table. Post break, they're battling up on the top rope, with Sammy landing a sunset flip power bomb and a tornado DDT for a near fall. Braun hits a Frankensteiner next, however, but Sammy's exploder sets up a haluva kick until Braun spears him. Seth taunts Sammy mid-match, urging him to take the deal, saying it's not too late. Sammy once again tells him to go to hell, eating another super spear this time. Braun hits a third spear on the outside where he runs all the way around the ring. But the ref stops the match after the fourth spear because Sammy's too hurt to continue. Seth orders a stomp. Seth delivers a stomp, and that was it. So yay for this. Sammy's defiance was perfect, and the match was a banger. Braun's a beast, and Sammy's heart shone through. The story's still shaky, but the segment delivered. Boo for the non-finish, but the intensity keeps me hooked on for what's next. So, and that was our main event. That was the end of the show. Let's an overall grade for the show, and I think this is the first time I've probably ever done this for Monday Night Raw, is that I have to give it a boo. Too many segments drowned in interference and non-finishes. Perez Ripley, War Raiders Judgment Day, Sammy Braun, even Ivy Nile, Chad Gable got introduced, and then, it's just a big mess. It seemed like every match kind of ran together. They had the same kind of ending. Nothing was different. Triple H needs to pull back. It's killing all the momentum. Let the matches breathe in the story land. Some gems, of course, Becky and Lyra, Ivy and Vakor, McAfee. Saved it from being a total disaster of a night to me. I don't know if that's how you feel. But this episode needed focus. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen right now at WWE. It seems like they've got this surplus of roster superstars is the problem. They've got so many superstars, and they're trying to fit them all in. So we put 10 of them into one story. We put another 8 into this one. Sometimes you just need the story to be the story. We don't need all these people. Stop hiring all these people if you can't use them properly. WWE needs focus. It seems like post-WrestleMania things have been kind of dropping. WrestleMania was pretty good, depending on how you feel. A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was good. I thought it was good and did everything it was supposed to. A lot of people complain about the Cena-Cody Rhodes match, but I think that played out just how it was supposed to. You were supposed to hate it. He was supposed to ruin it. So, listen, Wrestling Gladiators, that is it. But you guys are the lifeblood of VK Punk Wrestling, and we're hyped to have you in our corner. Real talk. Life has been swinging hard lately, dropping bombs heavier than a top rope pile driver. But like a champ clawing back from a beatdown, we're rising with more grit, more swagger, and a vow to keep this fire rolling. When life tries to count you out, you kick out at 2, hit your comeback, and drop the hammer. You're the headliner of your own saga, and the arena is screaming your name. Keep the vibes electric. Flood the comments with your top moments. Roar about WrestleMania, or just unleash some chaos and make some noise. Don't forget to tombstone that subscribe button. Share this with your posse to grow the VK Punk army, and lock in for Predictions War coming up for Backlash. We'll be having that video dropping next week. I'm charging into that battle and leaving with the gold. My first title run is going to be a high-flying man. I really deserve it because it always should have been me. It always should have been me. So check this out. We're on TikTok now. Go over to our TikTok. Please subscribe to this channel here because these numbers need to go up a little bit. TikTok is kind of running cool, though. And, of course, if for some reason this gets on TikTok, go to YouTube, and subscribe to the channel. It's in the bio of our page. Okay, once again, guys, I am Vin C Punk, and this is VK Punk Wrestling, and we own the ring, and we are the ones for wrestling content. See you next time. Stay savage, guys.